Hey guys, it's Chris is saying here back from C&H Smology again for another informative review video. This one deals with firearms exclusively. This is a review video for the primary arms red dot here. This is what the box looks like. I got this one on eBay used as is, like an old stock or some kind of demo model. So it was reduced price. It wasn't the original $169. So I do recommend these types of red dots right here for that. And this is what the box looks like. You get it, they're made in China, unfortunately, even though they're still great item if you want to say that for a red dot. And they do have 50,000 hour battery life. They have a 2 MOA red dot, and they're waterproof and fog proof, and they basically mount to any standard called picatanny rail on your rifle. If you have a shotgun rifle or something, some other form of rifle that has a picatanny rail on top for the actual reticle. If you want to have it lined up over the actual, have a co-witness over the rear sight, or if you don't want to have a co-witness, you just have it like almost like a cheek riser, or have the thing mount up a little bit higher than typically, right next to the dust cover on top of your AK, as I do have on mine right here for that. And they do have a 3-year warranty, as I mentioned before. And the battery they type, or I should say the battery they kind of use, it's a CR2032 battery. It is included in the box, so you get an El Cheapo battery, if you want to call it that, because most of the time they give you garbage batteries when you buy one of these things anyway. So I'd recommend swapping out and getting a Duracell or Energizer long life battery right there for that. And in the box they give you the red dot, obviously. So let me get this stuff out of here. This thing got vacuum. It's sticking right here, guys. So let me get this thing out of here. There we go. You get three. You basically get 4 things. The first thing is your bikini cover here for the actual scope reticle. You get a pack of Loctite red. Personally, I don't recommend putting red on here myself. I'd recommend sticking blue on there, because if you ever intend to take the red dot off and maybe put it on another gun, or you want to switch it around, or like maybe sell it sometime, I recommend just using blue Loctite. Do not use red Loctite, because red's basically permanent, and it's extremely difficult to get off right there for that. Plus, you also get a couple hex wrenches. I don't have them in the box here right now, but you get 2 hex wrenches with a box as well too. And that's basically summarizing everything else you get with the red dot. So without further ado, here's the red dot as it is positioned on my DDI AK-47U right here for that. It's basically sitting on top of the Red Heat kit picatanny rail snake dust cover on here for that. This actually goes over the top of the dust cover, I should say. And I basically have it mounted as close as humanly possible to the front of the rear sight block here as well too, because it can only go up so far, and it'll basically be up against these 2 little nibs that almost look like a quasi-fake rear sight, you can call it that. And I basically have it mounted maybe about 1/8 of an inch before that right there for it. It can't be mounted any closer, but it's going to be hitting these 2 little nibs right there for that. So I recommend mounting it as close as humanly possible to the rear sight. I should say the back of the rear sight. So you want to have it, the actual reticle is close to the back of your rear sight block here as well too, for it to have a nice snug fit, and it'll be jumping around for range purposes and stuff like that. Because if you mount it way in the back here or something like that, there is a possibility that if you do have something like what I have on here, it might flex a little bit. It might basically throw off your point of aim, the point of impact out there as well too. So always mount the red your optics as close as humanly possible to the front of your rear sight block assembly, as I have right here for that. So here's a picture of what it looks like in the back. There's a side picture again, and there's a front picture right there as well. The reticle, or I should say the glass more appropriately, it is bent back to a teeny bit, and also has like an orangish, I don't know, like an orangish hue to it as well too. They claim it's for glare reasons and stuff like that, and knock down the glare. So if you do get one, just be aware of those 2 facts. And they also have the primary arms logo on the left-hand side, as you've seen right there. They also have a serial number right on that side as well too. And the other side, you have your big knob here to take off your battery, and you also see your elevation and your windage knobs right here too, and on the top as well too. You have your on and off buttons. In order to turn it on, you just hit one of those buttons on it. In order to turn it off, you got to hit both simultaneously, and the reticle will go off for that. And the reticle is nice. It actually looks a lot better than my TRS-25, the Bushnell TRS-25. It actually looks a little bit sharper and clearer in the actual bore of the whole housing there for that. So I definitely give them props for having an improved design right there for that. Plus, the other reason why I bought this was because AK Operators Union had a basically a torture test for this identical scope, and they basically beat the piss out of it. They froze it, they dragged it behind their truck or something like that on the actual AK itself, and they basically stood up to the majority of all their torture tests they did to it. And even though the glass was broken in front, it still held I think proper 0 for that. So I definitely give it 2 thumbs up. And whenever you do mount these things, as I said before, you want to have them mounted all the way up to the front as humanly possible, and you don't want to overly tighten the actual clamp mechanism on here for that. You just basically want to have it nice and snug, and if you can, basically you want to have it nice and snug where it's not going to be flopping around. It's not going to be bouncing around there, because you want to have it nice and snug. You don't want to over torque it. They even have the owner's manual, do not over torque these things. They'll basically break the mechanism or can possibly damage your Picatanny rail. So basically make it nice and snug and put the blue Loctite on it. As I said before, do not put the red Loctite on. I don't advise that unless you permanently are going to seriously have it on it for the duration of the gun's life, and only use blue Loctite on her. That's my personal preference right there. Just keep the red Loctite by itself. You don't need it. And that's basically everything I can say about it right now. They do have 12 settings on the reticle inside there as well too, and these things, I should say, the windage knobs on here, they're your typical American adjustments on there. Basically, on the top you have up, it's going counterclockwise, so basically if you're shooting low, you just turn it down for that to, or I should say, you want to basically turn the reticles towards, it's basically opposite of what the con block reticles are. Basically your con block reticles are, the actual reticle moves inside. Well, these reticles do not move, so the con block reticles, you basically move the point of aim to the point of impact, and basically have your reticle line up to where it's actually hitting on the actual paper. These things are not the same, so just be aware of that difference right there for that. Other than that, it's an excellent optic, and definitely works perfectly fine for AKs out there, because I took my range here a couple days ago, and it definitely works perfectly fine. It holds 0. And there was one other thing I wanted to mention about a back of the Picatanny rail thing I have it situated on here. I originally got this gun as a Bulgarian build parts kit and stuff like that, and the recoil assembly was pretty worn on here. I swapped it out for a Polish Type 3 AK recoil assembly. It worked perfectly fine, no problem. But whenever I got the snake Picatanny rail on here, the rear dust cover on here was basically flopped around. It's a teeny bit on it to make a difference, maybe in the actual point of aim, the point of impact. And what I did was I took one of my Arsenal Sam 7 recoil units out of there and put this in this one right here, and it basically snugged up the actual tightness on the actual rail for the top one. So just be aware of that fact, that if you're going to be putting one of these optics on top of some kind of rail on your rifle out there for that, you want the rail to be completely snug and tight on it. You don't want any wobbling around or nothing like that. And you don't want no movement. It's going to affect your zeroing capability, because you take it to range and your things just flop around a little bit in the back, or you'd be shooting high, low, and you'd be chasing that bullet point of impact all over the place out there for that. So that's my recommendation right there, guys. I do recommend it. 2 thumbs up. It's a good optic. It's basically almost bulletproof, if you can call it that, for most range use and stuff like that out there for that. As long as you don't basically kill it, like, you know, drop it off a cliff or running over with a truck or something like that. It basically should last you your life for the gun out there for that. And it definitely looks nice and small. And that's the best thing about having one of these micro red dot. It's really small, so it's not going to be big and bulky and heavy out there for that, like typical most side rail scopes and anything else. This is basically extremely light, extremely small, and it's highly maneuverable for that. So that's my recommendation, guys. That's my review. If anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot about it, just feel free to leave me a message here, and I'll try to answer you back as quick as humanly possible about any questions you guys have. So have a nice day, guys. I'll see you.